Hello and good afternoon again. It's time for the Green Neighborhood. Thank you for tuning in at riverwestradio.com. The number for call-ins is 414-935-2951. And once again, this radio program, as always, is dedicated to the one I love, the Mighty Amineta. Okay, and what we're going to talk about starting out is water again. We're going to talk about some bottled water issues and water conservation tips, and that we hope that you apply, and better still, figure out a way to apply them and raise some money for a community organization that you care about. One moment, please. Okay, and what we're doing is just making a slight adjustment in our equipment so that you'll be able to effectively hear me and we can enjoy the program together. Excellent. Have our studio engineer working the magic of electronics. Thank you very much, Zolf. And then once again, we're broadcasting here live from riverwestradio.com in the heart of River West neighborhood, and that's between Holton and Humboldt on Center Street. And again, my name is Eric, and I am the producer and host of the Green Neighborhood. Now, as we were stating, we're going to cover a broad array of ways to conserve water and save money, and ideally raise money for some organization that you care about. Maybe it's your parent-teacher association, or your neighborhood association, or your church, synagogue, or mosque, or COA or Boys Club, or what have you. Okay, and what we want to do is also be mindful of conserving water inside and outside of the home. And so, what we're going to do is talk about rain barrels or rain harvesting, the ways to harvest rain or storm water from the outside of your home. One, the simplest way is simply to purchase a rain barrel, and you may do so from the Urban Ecology Center or from Growing Power, both of which are excellent community organizations that provide opportunities for a healthier lifestyle and, in some cases, employment, as well as opportunity and environment to teach our neighbors how to live more sustainably and more in harmony with nature. And that's very important because we only have one planet. Um, you want to be mindful to check out information available at www.earthmachine.com, as well as www.system.com, where they provide information on compost bins and rain barrels. Composting is an excellent way to recycle the food matter that we don't consume. Typically, when we think of recycling, it's in terms of plastics and metals and papers and so forth, or maybe even water. But we need to be mindful that recycling also pertains to the food that we eat and do not eat, that we throw out, because that can be composted, and you can develop a worm farm or create some soil for your personal garden at your home or at your favorite place to garden in the community. Now, with respect to more ideas of how to save water on the outside of our home, I want to start off by giving you a few statistics that are important, albeit not well known. And that's more than 97% of the Earth's water is salt water in the oceans. 0.61% is groundwater. 0.009 is from freshwater lakes, and 0.0001 is from rivers. Essentially, less than 1% of water on Earth is available for drinking. Therefore, we want to be mindful of the leakage that we have in our homes because we don't want to be wasteful because unfortunately we don't appreciate some things until it's scarce or eliminated, and a scarcity of water is not a good thing to experience. There are unfortunately many people around the world, particularly in different parts of the continent of Africa, where some kids may have to walk 10,000 steps in a given day just to get a day's worth of usable water. Water that would probably be unfit, deemed by the EPA if it was provided to us through our municipal systems. Some of the things that contribute to the some of the habits or actions that contribute to the pollution of our water system is disposing of medicines down the drain and down the toilet and so forth, because it has to be processed through our municipality in order for it to be deemed drinkable within certain criteria for the citizens. So never flush or pour unused medicine down the drain. Wastewater treatment plants are not designed to wastewater treatment plants are not designed to remove pharmaceuticals from wastewater. By bringing unused pharmaceuticals to the medicine collection center in your community, you will reduce substance abuse, protect the Lake Michigan, and prevent childhood poisonings. So check to see if your police department is collecting unused medicine all year long at www.mmsd.com. Again, that's www.mmsd.com. A little bit more about rain barrels. Rain barrels typically capture 55 gallons of water from your downspout. Water you can use during dry weather to give thirsty plants, bushes, and trees a drink. Rain barrels also help reduce the risk of water pollution by keeping out of sewers and from becoming polluted stormwater runoff. Rain gardens are nature's sponges. Rain gardens are shallow depressions in the ground with wildflowers and deep-rooted native vegetation that helps absorb more rain into the soil, reducing the risk of water pollution. They're typically placed near downspouts on a home to capture water from your roof. They protect rivers and lakes while attracting butterflies and hummingbirds to your very own yard. Natural resources. Rain gardens can absorb 30% more water than conventional well-manicured lawn. And with respect to your lawn, if you were to aerate your lawn about 6 inches apart, that will reduce the flow of water from the premises and better provide the hydration to the roots of your lawn. Although the season is changing right now, we still want to be mindful of what we can do now and perhaps during springtime get an early start on some of these convenient and helpful ways to reduce the runoff of rain and storm water. Now, essentially, our homes are connected to Lake Michigan, and the water flows from our home to what's referred to as the water reclamation facility into Lake Michigan, and then from Lake Michigan, the drinking water facility takes it and processes it, treats it, and provides it to the citizens of Milwaukee area. Clean drinking water and wastewater requires massive amounts of energy. In fact, if you add up demand for all treatment facilities in the country, it's enough to power more than 5 million homes for an entire year. And that's important because the less demand that we put upon our treatment facilities, the less energy they are required to use to provide us with usable, drinkable water. And our part can add up significantly when you consider the number of homes we have in our county. It's a simple matter of, again, not putting pharmaceuticals and medicines or cleaning toxins down the drain, and then it doesn't have to be recycled and sent back to us anyway. So we want to fix and install water efficient plumbing fixtures. That would include the areas like your bathroom and the kitchen and some places in the basement near your washer, dryer, hot water heater, and so forth. Pertaining to the bathroom, a 1.2 gallon toilet saves up to 16,500 gallons of water a year over older, less efficient models found in more than 50% of U.S. homes. Leaky toilets waste up to 200 gallons of water a day. Short showers use 10 to 25 gallons of water, while a bath can take up to 70 gallons. And turning the water off while brushing teeth or shaving can save 8 gallons a day. Now, with respect to the showers, a helpful thing to do is simply to purchase a low flow shower head, and that will reduce the amount of water that you're using when you're showering. However, the pressure provided by the shower head makes it feel like you're getting the same effect while you're cleaning yourself. And then another idea is to simply plug up the shower drain while you're showering, and then just be mindful of how high that water rises while you're showering, and you can measure that water. You can scoop it up, or rather, when you're finished, pour some water in from a certain unit, a known unit of measurement, and then every time you shower and the water reaches, let's say, right beneath your ankle, whether or not that's 3 gallons of water, whether that's 5 or 7 gallons of water. So you have an idea of how much water you're using when you do shower, because you just want to have a convenient reference, and the easy reference is using your feet, between the heel and the ankle, and then when you're done showering, just pour in the same amount from a known unit of measure, and you know how much water you're using. And when you know how much water you're using, you're better able to manage how much water you consume and how expensive your bills are. Where your toilets are concerned, now it's not in everyone's budget to purchase a water efficient conserving toilet. So what you can do in the interim are several things. One, you want to place a food tablet in the tank to see if there's leakage. If the food coloring tablet, after it dissolves, you see color in the toilet bowl, then you know there's leakage. If there's no color in there, then there is no leakage. But if there's color in the toilet bowl, there's leakage, and you want to flush it because you don't want to inadvertently stain the enamel inside. A second thing you can do is simply take a known volume, a plastic bottle, maybe a 2 liter or 1 liter, what have you, and fill a lower portion of it with marbles or rocks or pebbles or what have you. Pour it and fill it up with water, screw the cap on, and put it in the tank of your toilet. And what you're doing is displacing the water by volume, so that if you place in a 1 liter plastic sealed container in a toilet tank, every time you're flushing 1 liter less of water, but you're getting the same effect, which is you want the refuse to go down the toilet and down the drain. Again, more than 50% of the homes in the U.S. are using older, less efficient models of toilets. Now, with respect to the kitchen as well as the bathroom faucets, you want to use low flow, what they refer to as aerators. And the aerator is a device that goes on the end of your faucet, and it's like a little screen that allows air to rush in up into the faucet as water is rushing out. And again, this maintains the pressure that you feel when you're washing dishes or what have you, but you're saving water in the process. You're using less water, but maintaining the same effect due to the pressure of the air rushing up through the aerator into the faucet. Because letting a faucet run for 5 minutes letting a faucet run for 5 minutes uses about as much energy as letting a 60-watt light bulb run for 14 hours. And again, you want to fix leaky faucets. 1 drop per second can waste more than 3,000 gallons of water per year. And you want to be mindful of only washing full loads in a dishwasher if you use a dishwasher. But if it's a storm, you want to avoid washing your clothes, taking a shower if you can, as well as using your dishwasher. And regarding your laundry room, High efficiency Energy Star washing machines use up to 50% less water and electricity. And again, you only want to wash full loads and avoid doing so during a heavy rainstorm. And the reason for that is because you're placing more demand on our municipal sewer system, because the water that flows from your home will become part of water that is going into the sewer from the storm that needs to be managed. And we don't want any basement backup of water. We don't want any type of refuse backing up in our systems, and that's just not healthy. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for us. So, with a little a little mindfulness in every home can go a long way for making things better for all of us and our environment. Up to 14% of the water we pay for at home leaks down the drain. So again, you want to be mindful of testing your toilet for leaks, and use low flow aerators and shower heads. Energy Star appliances such as your washer, dryer, dishwasher, and so forth. And that combined with you know using rain barrels and setting up a rain garden outside your home will go a long way to conserving water and protecting our water resources. Now, getting back to the outside of your home, you want to make sure your downspouts are extended at least 6 to 10 feet away from your home to keep water out of your basement. And there are simple ways that you can figure that out. You just want to have a good slope, 1 inch drop for every foot or so. Now, some more ways that we could use water wisely and control water costs. Um, you want to be mindful that a water rate increase may be considered by the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin. Depending on the rate that is approved, the cost of water for a typical single family residential account in Milwaukee may increase up to as high as $11 per quarter, just depending upon what is being requested. Milwaukee continues to have low rates for fresh, safe drinking water compared with the rest of the United States. And leaks waste tremendous amounts of water, water that costs you money. A toilet that keeps running or dripping faucet can waste hundreds of gallons of water in 1 month. So again, with respect to the winter time, you can wrap exposed indoor and outdoor pipes to prevent breakage in freezing weather. And for more information, you can look up the Milwaukee Water Works system, and they provide brochures and so forth to help you conserve water. You can use your water meter to test for leaks. The dial face of the meter has a small blue leak detector wheel that spins to record smaller volumes of water that are typical of leaks. Turn off all water inside and outside the house and make sure no one uses water or flushes the toilet while you make this check. Go to the water meter and lift the lid. Look at the small blue wheel on the dial face. If it's moving slowly and spinning fast, you probably have water leaks. Water is moving through the meter, registering on the dial, and is being used, or is leaking somewhere inside or outside the house. Or not all water was turned off, like the water supply in the ice maker or humidifier. But you can eliminate it step by step in terms of where the leakage may be. Now, for electronic appliances in the home, we have Energy Star, and we're pretty much familiar with that blue background with the white star on the symbol. For water, we have its equivalent, which is referred to as WaterSense. And WaterSense, that's water, WaterSense, WaterSense is a product that meets EPA criteria for water conservation. So when your Energy Star label appliances save you money by using electricity and water than other appliances. Energy Star may be found on clothes washers, refrigerators, and dishwashers. And you also want to look for the EPA WaterSense label. And these WaterSense labels may be on toilets, faucets, shower heads, and have been independently tested and certified to save water versus conventional and older models. Another thing you can do is compare your water bills each quarter. Through the year, check your municipal services bill each quarter for water use and compare past bills. Water use is measured in units called CCF, which stands for 100 cubic feet. 1 CCF of water equals 748 gallons of water. Find your water use history at www.milwaukee.gov/water. Account information, click on usage history, and you'll see a graph that'll show your water usage per quarter. Actually per month, but the summation is on per quarter. Other resources would be www.epa.gov/watersense for a great deal of resources on simple things that, again, add up to make a difference in saving you money and protecting our planet and water source. Now, the Sierra Club, which was founded in 1892, has a terrific brochure. It was published in 2008, and it may be available. I think this maybe comes from the Sierra Club office in San Francisco, California, but their website is www.sierraclub.org. And essentially, this brochure talks about bottled water and learning the facts and taking action. The bottled water industry, led by Nestle, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi-Cola, is aggressively promoting bottled water. In the U.S., more than 30 billion plastic water bottles ends up as garbage or litter each year. Most don't get recycled. The bottles take up to 1,000 years to decompose and contribute to the vast vortex of plastic waste in the Pacific Ocean, which is harming wildlife. I think it's referred to as the Pacific Gyre. And one of the ways that it's harming wildlife is that plastic bottles may take up from 9 to 1,000 years to decompose on land or inside a landfill, where in the interim they're creating methane gas, which weakens our ozone and contributes to greenhouse gas effect. However, in the ocean, where they're exposed to perpetual UV rays all the time, then when they do break down somewhat faster than when they're buried underground, marine life oftentimes mistakes the particles of plastic as food or plankton or what have you and eat it. And of course, a diet on plastic is not a diet for a healthy living. And so either the marine life dies prematurely, probably painfully, or if it doesn't, it's captured and served to us on a plate in a restaurant somewhere unbeknownst to us, or we buy it and serve it to ourselves at home, having no idea of how healthy this plate of fish or other seafood is, because we are unaware of what it's been consuming prior to it being captured for our eating pleasure. Now, the withdrawal of large quantities of water from springs and aquifers for bottling has depleted household wells in rural areas and damaged wetlands and degraded lakes. It takes 3 liters of water to produce 1 liter of bottled water. Consumers don't realize that they are needlessly contributing to global warming, and there are alternatives. There are several DVDs out which I highly recommend. You can come to River West Video Store in River West and check out Tapped, which pertains to tap water versus bottled water. And then there's also a DVD called Blue Gold, which is a terrific DVD. I think that is available here also. And it's a good way to learn about something that pertains to each of us, regardless of where you are placed on the economic scale, whether income, middle income, or high upper income, what have you. Water is one of the resources that we are always going to need, and should be mindful of that. In 2006, more than 900,000 tons of plastic was used to package 8 billion gallons of bottled water. Production of this plastic leads to the release of a variety of chemicals. Most smaller bottles are made from polyethylene terephthalate, which are referred to simply as PET. And PET generates more than 100 times more toxic emissions than an equivalent amount of glass. And that's from the Berkeley Ecology Center research. In 2000, Consumer Reports found that 8 of the 10 5-gallon jugs checked left residues of the endocrine disruptor bisphenol A, or referred to as BPA, in the water. An expert panel of scientists has concluded that exposure to extremely low doses of BPA is strongly linked to diseases such as breast cancer, prostate cancer, diabetes, and to reproductive and neurological development. Leaching of chemicals into the bottled water increases with heat and age, raising concerns about storage and transportation of the bottles. More research is needed on leaching of harmful chemicals from all types of bottles. No problems have been associated with refillable stainless steel or aluminum baked enamel lined containers. And just a brief pause here. One way to have an excellent fundraiser for your congregation or for your parent-teacher association is to come to the video store and check out one of these informative and, in often cases, entertaining DVDs on the environment and water specifically, and maybe just charge 50 cents or $1 for people to come in, but they're coming in to learn something so that we can make a difference within our home, and by extension make a collective difference in our community. And being that it's a fundraiser, let's say for a PTA, that money will be well served to be applied for students for an extra field trip, maybe to the Urban Ecology Center, or for Discovery World Science Museum, or the Slits Audubon Center, or maybe the Chicago Museum of Science and Technology. But the point being is that there are small things that we can do to inform ourselves, to empower ourselves, to save money for ourselves and protect our environment all at the same time. It does not need to be an either or scenario or situation. It can be all of the above. Now, with respect to water quality, bottled water is regulated by the FDA, and that stands for Food and Drug Administration, which has weaker regulations than the EPA, which stands for Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA regulations for tap water are more stringent. Bottled water sold within states is regulated only by the states. When more than 1,000 bottles were tested, including 103 bottled water brands, they found contamination exceeding allowable limits in at least one sample from about 1/3 of the brands, including arsenic, synthetic organics, and bacteria. Now, no parent in their right mind would intentionally, knowingly serve, their children or their family something including arsenic or, bacteria or synthetic organics. That's harmful. But unfortunately, when, oftentimes parents, they buy a case of bottled water thinking they're doing the right thing, when actually the water coming out the tap will probably be a lot safer because it goes through a lot more stringent criteria for being drinkable or potable than does water from plastic bottle because it's regulated by the FDA. If you have concerns about the quality of your drinking water, the simplest thing to do and the least expensive thing to do is simply filter your water at the tap. You can do so one of two ways. Either A, simply buy a pitcher that has a filter in it, and they come in different sizes and so forth, where you just fill up the pitcher and it percolates through a filter, and you put the pitcher in the water and you're good to go. If you drink a lot of water, which I think most of us can use to drink more water, you can buy two pitchers. For more convenience, you can simply attach a device to your faucet where it just filters automatically. So every time you run the water, what's coming out the tap is going to be filtered water. And you again can just store your water in a pitcher inside the refrigerator as opposed to letting it run to make it colder. You're saving energy and you're saving water by putting a pitcher of water inside the refrigerator, whether it's filtered at the tap or filtered by the pitcher. And then secondly, it's trendy to walk around, on campus, be it, Marquette, UW, MATC, or what have you, with a bottle of water. Ooh, I'm health conscious. I like to drink water. Okay, that's great. But you don't need to buy it from a store or a gas station. The really smart thing to do, especially you're on the campus, the smart thing to do is keep your water in a stainless steel canteen or water bottle. Just carry it around with you. You can have one clipped onto your book bag, one in your vehicle, be it a car or truck, or your motorcycle, or your bicycle, what have you, but you can have more than one canteen or water bottle, and as a result, you're not always spending money on what you're going to always need. You want to find a way to eliminate those reoccurring costs or reduce them as much as possible. And the smartest, easiest way to do it is to filter your own water and carry your own water with you. Now, in 2005, 28 billion bottles of water were sold, mostly in PET containers. And again, PET is definitely harmful. It's something that we don't want to be drinking anything from. And it stands for polyethylene terephthalate. And this is according to the Container Recycling Institute. In 2004, the last year for which data is available, 85% of all non-carbonated PET bottles ended up in landfills or as litter in parks and along roadways. That's 24 billion empty water bottles, 66 million every day. So I remember a time when, I was my daughter's age, when, spring and fall, pretty much only thing I saw or remember seeing were leaves on the ground, especially in the fall time. But we have a different type of coloring on the streets nowadays. We have so many plastic bags blowing this way and that, getting caught up in trees or a telephone or power lines, and it's really unfortunate. And it's quite avoidable. And if we were to be more, conscientious, maybe just use recycled bags. But plastic has been a blessing. It can continue to be a blessing for our culture, but it's how we use and dispose of it. All things that are applied, that plastic are applied to, are not good for us, and bottled water is one of them. So in reducing our carbon footprint, the Pacific Institute estimates that production of bottled water for U.S. consumption in 2006 required the equivalent of more than 17 million barrels of oil, not including the energy used for transportation. This released over 2.5 million tons of carbon dioxide, which of course is a major global warming gas. More energy is used to transport the water to the bottling plant than transport the filled bottles to warehouses, stores, and homes, and finally to landfills or recycling centers. The amount of energy embedded in the use of bottled water is the equivalent of filling a plastic bottle 1/4 full of oil, according to the Pacific Institute. By contrast, municipal water requires only a little energy to pump the water through pipes to our homes. So just saying no to bottled water is a simple way to reduce our carbon footprint. Why buy something from someone when you can get it for less yourself? Especially when you can be more certain of the quality of what the item is. And in this case, we're talking about water. The bottled water industry promotes bottled water as a healthy, trendy drink without mentioning that it can cost 500 to 4,000 times more than tap water. The Sierra Club believes that all people should have access to affordable, clean drinking water. This means protecting water sources and adequate funding for upgrading municipal systems should be national priorities. They should be. If you're concerned about the quality or taste of your tap water, it's much cheaper to install a water filter on your tap to remove the pollutants than to depend on bottled water. Now, there is indeed a global corporate threat. Bottled water corporations treat water as a private commodity from which to profit by selling water at the market price rather than as a human right that must be universally available at prices all people can afford. Having created a growing market for bottled water, transnational corporations are exercising their power to secure access to springs, aquifers, and municipal water supplies to keep their profits flowing. For example, Nestle has taken over many small independent companies, set up much larger operations at local springs, and is aggressively pursuing new sites around the United States, including around the the Great Lakes area. Coke's Dasani and Pepsi Aquafina brands depend on cheap municipal water in the United States. Coke's bottled water operation in India was embroiled in a controversy where a boycott Coke campaign was underway. Water is a resource, not a commodity. Thus, we must be sure that public policy ensures the sustainability of safe water supplies for the benefits of all people and the natural environment. All water resources, including the oceans, must be protected as a public trust so that commercial use of water does not diminish public or ecological benefits. Access to clean, sufficient, and affordable drinking water is a human right necessary for human health and survival. This right must be protected by the government policies and international agencies consistent with ensuring access to safe and adequate quantities of water resources for all wildlife on the planet and sustainability of the resources. But bear in mind, corporations are, I guess, in one sense, constitutionally considered, they're given a personhood status, but corporations, unless they go bankrupt, they don't die. Corporations are immortal. So when we're advocating for government policies, we must be certain not to just think of the here and now or just 10 years from now or just 25 years from now. We have to think in terms of centuries, in terms of 100 years from now, we won't be here, but our grandchildren will. And with them, it will be, most of the corporations that are growing larger and larger by buying up other companies and taking advantage of various tax and regulation loopholes. So we have to be mindful that the challenges that we face regarding our water supply, when policies are set, they have to be set in terms of 100-year perspective, not 10 years or 25 years, because corporations, with respect to real human beings, corporations are immortal. They don't go away. They're either gobbled up by someone else or go into bankruptcy and then rise again like a phoenix. So we want to know the nature of who we're dealing with so that we can have policies that are most effective. So in summary, with respect to bottled water, you want to avoid using bottled water unless absolutely necessary. Drink from reusable metal or glass containers filled with tap water when you're traveling. It's just that simple. At public events in their home, offer pitchers of water. talk to your favorite restaurants about not offering bottled water. Protect water as a commons in your community, in our community, in River West community, by banning corporations from taking water for sale in bottles or for other commercial sales. And again, we can advocate for adequate funding and good public management of municipal water systems. For information, we can go about our local drinking water. We can go to www.epa.gov, and you can find some links there. But it'd be interesting. I wonder how many people are aware of who manages our water treatment facilities. Is it managed publicly by Milwaukee or Milwaukee County, or has it been contracted out? I believe it's the latter as opposed to the former. And so, little by little, corporations they gain a foothold. They insinuate themselves using by providing services indirect to controlling the water supply as a whole. They maybe start out by treating the water, and then from there their contract may be extended to using the water in other ways or having control of the water without public input. So we want to be mindful of the barbarians at the gate, because in some cases they are climbing over. Now, a little bit about our watersheds. Most people are unaware of what a watershed is, and fewer still of where their watershed may be. So we're going to talk about that. Now, if you are a river westerner, your watershed is the Milwaukee River. But there are other watersheds in greater Milwaukee. There's Milwaukee River, Menominee River, Kinnickinnick, Oak Creek watershed, Root River watershed, and then, of course, there's the Lake Michigan drainage. So there's something called the Water Quality Initiative, and by protecting and improving the quality of our rivers, lakes, and drinking water is everyone's job. We need your help in this very important effort. From driving a car to fertilizing your lawn, many things you do every day contribute to the amount of pollution that gets into our waterways. Consider making a difference for your community. When rain falls from the sky, it does not stay within the boundaries of a city limit. Water obeys nature's boundaries or watersheds. They are areas of land that act as big funnels, draining rain or melting snow into the nearest river or lake. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District and the Southern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission are undertaking a long-range planning effort to identify what needs to be done to accommodate growth and protect water quality through the year 2020. Think of it as your blueprint for the future of clean water. MMSD study is called the Water Quality Initiative, and we'd like you to be involved by participating in public meetings, checking our website, or reading our newsletters. The Water Quality Initiative is using the watershed approach for this long-range planning effort. This comprehensive approach identifies and considers all types of pollution within each watershed. Everyone lives in a watershed, and we encourage you to learn more about the Greater Milwaukee watersheds by visiting the website at www.mmsd.com. Click on WQI. So if we're using biodegradable home and personal care products, then we're putting less toxins into our waterworks system. And with respect to fundraising, it can be a fun activity to raise funds by connecting with a company that sells stainless steel water bottles, or maybe they sell water filtration systems, or both. And if you're interested in identifying what companies may provide green products that are good for our household budget and household health, and that can be used to raise money for our organizations, you can go to the green neighborhood myshackley.com, or you can call here at 414-935-2951 and figure out a way to raise some green by protecting green. Okay, and we're going to be signing off pretty soon. Again, this is Eric, the green guy from the Green Neighborhood, coming to you from riverwestradio.com. And we're here every Monday between 5 and 6, typically every Monday. And again, this program is dedicated to the one I love, the mighty Amineta.